The training ground was huge. Metal buildings stretched across the surface of the small moon like a giant city. Bright lights shone down from the ceiling high above, making everything look like daytime even though they were in space. This was the Galactic Defense Academy, where young fighters from different planets came to learn how to protect the galaxy. Maya Brooks stood very still in the main yard. She wore the dark blue uniform that all students wore. Her boots were polished and shiny. Her hair was pulled back tight. She was 22 years old and came from Earth. Only 3 humans had been accepted into the academy this year. Most aliens thought humans were weak. Earth had only joined the other planets 5 years ago. Before that, humans did not know that aliens existed. Now Maya was here, trying to prove that humans could be good soldiers too, but it was not easy. Every day someone made a joke about humans being fragile or slow or stupid. The Vraxians were the worst. They were tall aliens with hard shells covering their bodies. They looked like giant insects standing on 2 legs. They had 4 arms and 4 eyes. Their home planet had very strong gravity, much stronger than Earth. This made them incredibly strong. For decades, Vraxian students had been the best fighters at the academy. Zarkoth was the top Vraxian student in Maya's class. He was nearly 8 feet tall. His shell was dark green and looked harder than stone. He walked toward Maya now with other students following behind him. They all wanted to see what would happen. Zarkoth liked to make fun of the human students. He did it almost every day, Brooks, he said. A small device on his chest changed his clicking sounds into words she could understand. I see you finished the morning training. That is surprising. I thought your bones would break from such simple exercises. Humans are so weak. Maya did not show any emotion on her face. She had learned to ignore Zarkoth's mean words. The academy had rules against fighting outside of training. If she hit him now, she would be punished. So she just stood there and looked at him calmly. I am fine, thank you, Maya said. Her voice was quiet and steady. Fine. Zarkoth made a sound like laughter. You barely finished the obstacle course. Baby aliens move faster than you. Tell me, human, does your planet even have wars? Or do you just hide and hope nobody finds you? More students gathered around them now. Some were other Vraxians. Some were different types of aliens. They all watched Maya, waiting to see if she would get angry. Would she yell at Zarkoth? Would she try to defend Earth? We have our own ways of fighting, Maya said simply. Your own ways, Zarkoth repeated. He turned to look at the other students and spread all 4 of his arms wide. The human has special ways of fighting. Maybe they write angry letters to their enemies. Maybe they surrender before the battle starts. He turned back to Maya and bent down so his face was close to hers. In 3 days we have our first real combat test. Maybe then we will see these special human fighting ways. His breath smelled strange and chemical. But Maya did not move back. She looked right into his 4 eyes with her 2 eyes. Her voice was calm when she spoke. I look forward to it, she said. A bell rang across the training yard. It was time for afternoon classes. Zarkoth stood up straight again. His mouth parts clicked in a way that meant he was dismissing her. He turned and walked away. His Vraxian friends followed him like servants following a king. After the crowd left, another human walked up to Maya. His name was Finn Carter. He was one of the other 2 humans at the academy. He shook his head as he came closer. You know you could report him, right? Finn said. What he does is against the rules. The teachers would stop him. Maya picked up her training bag and put it over her shoulder. And prove that humans need protection? No, we handle this ourselves. Finn looked at her carefully for a moment. Then he smiled. You have a plan, don't you? I have 3 days, Maya said. She started walking toward the training buildings. That is all I need. Maya walked through the metal corridors of the academy. Other students passed by her. Some were tall. Some were short. Some had scales. Some had fur. Some looked almost human, but with different colored skin or extra body parts. The galaxy had so many different kinds of people in it. She thought about what Zarkoth had said. It was true that the morning exercises had been hard. The obstacle course required climbing, jumping, and running. Maya had finished it, but she was one of the slowest students. Her muscles ached. Her lungs burned. But she had not given up. That was the thing about humans that the aliens did not understand yet. Humans did not give up easily. On Earth, humans were not the strongest animals. They were not the fastest. They did not have claws or sharp teeth. But they survived anyway. They learned. They adapted. They found ways to win. Maya reached her small room and closed the door. The room was simple: a bed, a desk, a closet for her clothes. A window showed the stars outside. She sat at the desk and turned on the computer screen. She had work to do. If she was going to fight Zarkoth in 3 days, she needed to learn everything about Vraxians. She needed to find their weakness. Every living thing had a weakness, even creatures with hard shells and super strength. She just had to find it. The computer screen lit up with information. The Academy library had data on every alien species. There were pictures, videos, medical scans, and reports from thousands of years of history. Maya started reading about Vraxians. Their shells were made of something like the shells of insects on Earth, but much stronger. The shells could stop bullets. They could survive in very hot or very cold places. Vraxians could even survive in space for a short time without a suit. They were incredibly tough. Their strength came from their home planet's gravity. Growing up in such strong gravity made their muscles very powerful. A Vraxian could lift 3 times what a human could lift. They could punch through metal walls. In every recorded fight, Vraxians usually won by simply being stronger than everyone else. But Maya was not looking at their strengths. She was looking for weaknesses. She scrolled through pages and pages of information. There had to be something, some small detail that others had missed. Outside her window, the artificial sun began to dim. It was evening now. Most students were eating dinner or relaxing. But Maya kept reading. She watched videos of old fights. She studied medical diagrams showing Vraxian anatomy. She took notes. Hours passed. Her eyes were tired. Her back hurt from sitting so long. But then she saw something interesting. A small note in a medical file. It was about Vraxian spines. The shell protected most of their body. But shells cannot bend. So where the Vraxian body needed to move, there were gaps in the shell. Small spaces covered only by softer tissue. The joints in their arms and legs had these gaps. The neck had them too, and the spine had them. Maya leaned closer to the screen. She zoomed in on a diagram of the Vraxian spine. It was made of hard plates connected by flexible material. Between each plate was a thin membrane. This membrane let them bend and move. But it was not as strong as the shell. She sat back in her chair and thought. Most fighters would try to hit the joints in the arms or legs. But Vraxians knew this. They protected those spots carefully. The spine, though, people did not usually try to attack the spine. It was too well protected by the shell around it, unless you hit it in exactly the right place. Unless you hit it hard enough. Unless you used a technique that most aliens had never seen before. Maya smiled for the first time that day. She had found it. Now she just needed to practice. Maya spent the next 2 nights in the Academy library. The room was quiet and dark except for the blue glow of computer screens. Most students were asleep in their rooms. But Maya was awake, searching through thousands of files about Vraxian biology and fighting styles. She watched videos of old fights over and over. In every match, Vraxians won by using their strength. They grabbed their opponents and threw them. They punched through defenses. They simply overpowered everyone they fought. But sometimes, very rarely, a Vraxian lost. Maya studied those losses carefully. When Vraxians lost, it was because someone hit their weak spots. The elbows, the knees, the neck. Places where the hard shell had gaps. But these targets were obvious. Any trained Vraxian fighter knew to protect them. Maya needed something different. Something unexpected. She pulled up a detailed scan of the Vraxian spine. The computer showed it in 3 dimensions. She could rotate it and zoom in on different parts. The spine was like a stack of plates, each one connected to the next by soft tissue. These connections allowed movement but were not as strong as the plates themselves. Maya asked the computer to calculate something for her. She wanted to know how much force a human could generate with different types of strikes. The computer showed her numbers and charts. A human punch, even from a trained fighter, was not very strong compared to Vraxian armor. The shell would absorb it easily, but then Maya saw something interesting. Human legs were much stronger than human arms. About 3 times stronger. A trained human could kick with enormous force. The computer calculated it as about 800 pounds of pressure. That was a lot more than a punch. Maya compared this to the Vraxian spine structure. If she could kick the exact right spot with all her strength, she might be able to damage the soft tissue between the plates. But it had to be perfect. The right place, the right angle, the right amount of force. One mistake and the kick would just bounce off the shell. She pulled up videos from Earth. Before humans went to space, they had spent thousands of years fighting each other. Different cultures had developed different fighting styles. Karate from Japan, Kung Fu from China, boxing from Europe, capoeira from Brazil. So many ways to fight. Maya focused on styles that used kicks. She watched masters performing techniques that looked like dances. They spun and jumped and struck with incredible precision. One style caught her attention. Taekwondo from Korea. It was famous for powerful kicks. She watched a video of a Taekwondo master breaking boards with a spinning back kick. The technique was beautiful. The fighter turned their back to the target, spun around fast and drove their heel into the board. The board broke into pieces. The master made it look easy. Maya studied the movement carefully. The power came from the hips rotating. The leg whipped around like a weapon. All the force focused into the heel, striking one small point. On Earth, this kick could break concrete. Here on the moon, where gravity was slightly less, she would be even faster. She looked at the time. It was very late. She needed to sleep. But tomorrow, she would start practicing. The next morning, Maya went to a private training room. She had reserved it by saying she needed extra fitness work. This was not a lie. She did need to train. But she did not tell anyone what she was really practicing. The room was empty except for training equipment. Maya programmed a holographic dummy to appear. She made it the same size and shape as a Vraxian. The hologram showed where the armor was strongest and where the weak points were. She stood in front of the dummy and took a deep breath. Then she tried the spinning back kick. She turned, spun, and kicked. She missed completely and almost fell over. The movement was harder than it looked in the videos. Maya tried again, and again, and again. She fell many times. Her legs got tired. Her hips hurt from all the spinning. But she kept practicing. Each time she got a little better. Each time she understood the movement a little more. The holographic dummy measured each kick. It told her how much force she generated and where she hit. Most of her early kicks were too weak or hit the wrong spot. But slowly, over hours of practice, she improved. By lunchtime, her entire body ached. Bruises covered her legs from falling. Her uniform was soaked with sweat. But she was getting closer. The computer showed her kicks getting stronger and more accurate. She took a short break to eat and rest. Then she went back to the training room. She had to get this right. In 2 more days, she would face Zarkoth in front of the whole academy. She could not fail. The afternoon training session was even harder. Her muscles were already tired from the morning. Every kick hurt. But pain was just information. It told her body where to improve. She pushed through it. By evening, something clicked. Her body finally understood the movement. The spin became natural. Her hip rotation generated real power. Her heel struck the target precisely. The holographic dummy flashed green. Success. The computer displayed the results. 820 pounds of force delivered to a 2-inch target area. The calculation showed a 90% chance of damaging Vraxian spinal tissue. It would work. Maya did it 10 more times to make sure. Each kick hit the target. Each one generated enough force. Her body had memorized the movement. Now she just needed to do it in a real fight against a real opponent who would be trying to hurt her. She left the training room exhausted but satisfied. Other students stared at her as she walked through the corridors. She looked terrible. Her hair was messy. Her face was red. She was limping slightly. But she smiled anyway. The next day was her last day to prepare. She practiced the kick again in the morning, just to keep the movement fresh in her mind. But she did not overdo it. She needed her legs to be strong for the fight, not exhausted from too much training. In the afternoon, she went to regular classes. Other students talked about the upcoming combat tests. Everyone knew that Maya would fight Zarkoth. The Vraxian had been telling everyone about it. He was confident he would win quickly. Students were placing bets on how long Maya would last. Most bets said less than 30 seconds. Some generous people gave her a full minute. Nobody bet on her winning. Why would they? She was a small human. He was a giant Vraxian warrior. Maya heard the whispers but ignored them. Let them think she would lose. Let them underestimate her. That would make her victory even more impressive. That evening, Finn found her in the dining hall. He sat down across from her with his food tray. "You look calm," he said. "Too calm. Should I be worried about you?" Maya ate her food slowly. "I am just focused," she said. Finn leaned closer and lowered his voice. Zarkoth has been bragging that he will humiliate you tomorrow. He is taking bets. Most people think you will last less than 30 seconds. Good, Maya said. I hope the betting odds are good. Maybe I should place a bet on myself. Finn laughed nervously. You are serious, aren't you? You actually think you can beat him? Maya looked at her friend with steady green eyes. I do not think I can beat him. I know I can beat him. There is a difference. Finn studied her face for a long moment. Then he nodded slowly. Okay, I believe you. Just be careful, all right? He is really strong. Strong does not always win, Maya said quietly. Sometimes smart wins. Sometimes patient wins. Tomorrow we find out which is better. That night, Maya slept well. Some people cannot sleep before a big fight. They are too nervous or excited. But Maya had done everything she could to prepare. She had studied. She had practiced. She had a plan. Now she just needed to execute it. She dreamed of Earth. Green forests and blue oceans. Cities full of people. Her family lived in a small town in Colorado. They did not know what she was doing right now. Earth communication with the Academy took days because of the distance. By the time they heard about tomorrow's fight, it would already be over. Would she make them proud? Would she show the galaxy that humans were worthy of respect? Tomorrow would answer those questions. Maya woke up early on the day of the fight. She did gentle stretches to warm up her muscles. She ate a good breakfast. She checked her equipment. Everything was ready. She was ready. The combat test would happen in the afternoon. All morning, Maya attended her regular classes, but she could barely focus. Her mind kept going over the plan. Wait for him to attack. Dodge. Find the opening. Execute the kick. It sounded simple, but in a real fight, nothing was simple. Finally, the time came. Maya walked toward the arena. Other students filled the corridors, all heading the same direction. Everyone wanted to watch. It was not every day that a human fought a Vraxian. Most people expected it to be quick and brutal. They were right about one thing. It would be quick, but not in the way they expected. The combat arena was a large circle about 50 meters across. Energy barriers surrounded it like invisible walls. These barriers could stop weapons fire and keep fighters safely inside. Above the arena, seats rose up in levels like a stadium. Every seat was full. Maya stood in a small room next to the arena. This was the preparation area where fighters got ready. She checked her combat suit one more time. The suit was designed to protect against injuries but still allow the judges to see who was winning. It would cushion some blows, but not all of them. Commander Thexrel entered the room. He was a reptile-like alien with green scales and sharp teeth. He taught combat at the academy. Unlike many teachers, he was fair to all students regardless of what planet they came from. Brooks, he said in his deep voice. You understand the rules. This is full contact. You fight until someone gives up, gets knocked out, or the judges decide a winner. Medical teams are ready. Do you have questions? No, sir, Maya answered. The commander looked at her carefully. Zarkoth is skilled. Very strong. Very confident. Maybe too confident, but still dangerous. You can give up if you need to. There is no shame in it. Maya met his eyes. I understand, sir, but I will not need to give up. The commander's eyes narrowed slightly. He seemed like he wanted to say more, but he just nodded and stepped aside. Your fight is next? Maya walked out into the arena. Bright lights shined down on her. The floor was smooth with a slightly rough texture for grip. She could hear the crowd talking excitedly. She walked to her starting position and waited. Across the arena, Zarkoth came out of the opposite entrance. He raised all four of his arms to the crowd. His shell gleamed under the lights. The Vraxian students in the audience made loud clicking noises to cheer for him. It sounded like 1,000 insects all at once. Zarkoth walked slowly to the center. He looked very confident. When he was close enough, he spoke to Maya. His translator device turned his words into language she understood. I will make this quick, human. I do not want to hurt you badly. Just give up when you realize you cannot win. I will show mercy. Maya did not say anything. She just took her fighting stance. Her feet were shoulder-width apart. Her hands were up and ready. Her face was calm. Commander Thexral's voice boomed across the arena. Fighters ready. This test will continue until someone wins. Honor your training. Honor the academy. His arm dropped. Begin. Zarkoth moved fast. His long arms reached for Maya from multiple directions at once. 2 arms came high. 2 arms came low. It was a classic Varaxian attack meant to trap the opponent. Maya stepped backward. The arms passed through empty air where she had been standing a moment before. She did not try to hit back yet, not yet. She needed to wait for the right moment. Zarkoth moved forward again. His attacks came faster now. He was trying to overwhelm her with speed and power. Each punch could break bones if it connected. But Maya moved around them. She had studied his fighting style in the videos. She knew what he would do. The crowd's noise changed. People sounded surprised. Maya was still standing. 30 seconds passed, then 40 seconds. Zarkoth's confidence started to crack. He looked frustrated. "Stand still and fight," he growled. He threw a powerful straight punch with his strongest arm. This was it. The moment Maya had been waiting for. Zarkoth put too much power into the punch. His weight shifted forward. His back was exposed for just a moment. Maya moved. She stepped to the side of the punch. Her body pivoted. She pulled her leg back. Then everything she had practiced came together. Her hips rotated with all her strength. Her leg whipped around in a perfect spinning back kick. Her heel aimed at the exact spot she had studied for days. The vulnerable spot between the third and fourth plates of his spine, right where the lower back met the hip. The place where soft tissue connected the armor. The impact sounded like a gunshot. 800 pounds of force hitting a 2-inch target. The arena went completely silent. Zarkoth's four eyes went wide. His mouth parts stopped moving. For 1 second he just stood there. His body had not processed what happened yet. Then came the crack. Not from the kick, but from inside his body. The sound of his shell breaking. The sound of the spine plate fracturing under the pressure. The soft tissue between the plates could not handle the focused force. The huge Varaxian collapsed. His legs stopped working. He fell to the arena floor hard. His forearms tried to push him back up. But his lower body would not move. The nerve connections in his spine had been cut by the broken plate. Maya stepped back. She lowered her hands. Her breathing was controlled even though adrenaline rushed through her body. She waited. The arena stayed silent for 3 heartbeats. Then chaos erupted. People started yelling. Some were shocked. Some were angry. Some were cheering. The noise was deafening. Medical teams rushed onto the arena floor. The Academy's computers had detected the spinal injury immediately. Emergency systems activated. Robots and alien doctors surrounded Zarkoth with glowing medical tools. Commander Thexral stood at the edge of the arena. He raised one hand and the crowd noise got quieter. "Victory," he announced. His voice carried across the space. "Brooks." The crowd exploded again. But the sound was different now. Before the fight, people had been mocking and dismissive. Now there was shock, disbelief, and something new. Respect. Maya walked toward the exit. Her legs were shaking now that the fight was over. She had done it. She had proven that humans could compete with the strongest species in the galaxy. But as the adrenaline faded, the reality set in. She had hurt someone. Maybe badly. Yes, it was a sanctioned fight. Yes, they both volunteered. But seeing Zarkoth fall and not be able to move made her stomach feel sick. Finn was waiting in the preparation room. He had a huge smile on his face. "That was incredible," he said. "Did you see the crowd?" They could not believe it. A human just defeated the top Varaxian student. This is going to change everything. Maya sat down heavily on a bench. Her hands were shaking. "Is he going to be okay?" Finn's smile faded a little. "The medical technology here is amazing. They can fix almost anything. He will probably walk again in a few days. His pride might take longer to heal, though." Before Maya could respond, Commander Thexral came into the room. Both students stood up straight. "At ease," the commander said. He looked at Maya with his reptilian eyes. "That was impressive, Cadet Brooks. Good timing, good precision, good tactics. But I have a question. How did you know about that weakness?" Maya met his gaze. "I studied the Academy files, sir. I looked at Varaxian anatomy. I calculated that a focused strike to the spine connection point could cause damage if done correctly." Thexral nodded slowly. "You used your species' strengths. Humans have powerful legs because you evolved on a planet with strong gravity. You needed strong legs to walk and run. You turned that into a weapon." "Yes, sir," Maya said. "This will change things," the commander said. "You just proved that humans are not weak. Everyone saw it. This fight will be studied. Your technique will be analyzed. Other students will try to copy what you did." "Good," Maya said. "If it means humans get treated with respect instead of contempt, then it was worth it." The commander's expression became serious. Respect must be earned. You made an excellent start today. But you also made enemies. The Vraxians are proud. Zarkoth's defeat is embarrassing for all of them. They will want revenge. I can handle it, Maya said quietly. I believe you can, Dexril said. But be careful. There is a difference between confidence and arrogance. Zarkoth learned that today. Make sure you do not make the same mistake. He turned to leave, then stopped. One more thing. The medical team says Zarkoth will fully recover. The spine fracture was clean. Their regeneration therapy is already working. He will walk in 3 days. Relief flooded through Maya. Thank you, sir. After the commander left, Finn whistled softly. You just changed how the entire academy sees humanity. That has to be some kind of record. Maya started removing her combat suit. It was not about changing perceptions. It was about survival. If humans are going to succeed here, we need to show we belong. We are not weak. We are just different. Different, Finn agreed, and apparently very scary when motivated. That evening, Maya returned to her room. She was exhausted but could not rest yet. Her communication terminal was blinking with dozens of new messages. She sat down at her desk and started reading them. Some messages were from other human students across the academy. They were congratulating her and thanking her for representing humanity well. Some were from alien students she had never met. A few were challenges. They wanted to fight her to test themselves against the human who defeated a Vraxian. But one message stood out. It was from Zarkoth himself. Maya hesitated before opening it. What would he say? Would he be angry? Would he threaten her? She took a breath and opened the message. Brooks, the message read, I underestimated you. This was a serious mistake, one I will not make again. You fought with honor and skill. When I have recovered, I request a rematch. Not for revenge, but to learn. Your species has much to teach mine about fighting smart instead of just fighting strong. Until then, you have earned my respect. Zarkoth. Maya read the message 3 times. She had expected anger or humiliation. Instead, she found respect and a desire to learn. Maybe there was hope for understanding between different species after all. She wrote a short reply accepting his request for a future rematch. Then she closed the terminal. Sleep came easier than she expected. Her body was tired from the fight and from days of intense training, but more than that, she felt satisfied. She had accomplished what she set out to do. Now she could rest. The next few days were strange. Everywhere Maya went, people stared at her. Some looked impressed. Some looked curious. A few Vraxian students looked angry, but they did not say anything to her. The rules against harassment were being enforced more strictly now. In classes, instructors asked her questions about human biology and fighting techniques. They wanted to understand how humans developed such powerful kicks. She explained about bipedal evolution and how humans needed strong legs to run long distances when hunting on Earth. Other students approached her during free time. They were from many different species. Some had scales. Some had fur. Some looked like rocks or plants. They all had the same question. Could she teach them? Maya found herself leading small training sessions. She showed them basic kicks and explained the importance of targeting weak points. She taught them that strength was not everything. Precision, timing, and knowledge could defeat raw power. 3 days after the fight, Zarkoth returned to training. Maya saw him in the dining hall. He walked slowly but steadily. The medical treatment had worked. His spine was healed. He saw Maya and walked over to her table. Brooks, he said. His voice was different now, less arrogant, more respectful. May I sit with you? Maya gestured to an empty chair. Of course, Zarkoth sat down carefully. His movements were still a bit stiff. I wanted to thank you, he said. Thank me? Maya was confused. For what? For teaching me humility, the Vraxian said. I thought I was superior because of my strength and my armor. I thought humans were weak and worthless. You showed me I was wrong. That lesson was valuable even if it was painful. Maya nodded slowly. I learned something too. I learned that even the proudest warrior can change their mind when shown evidence. Your message to me was unexpected. Most would have been angry. Anger is for fools, Zarkoth said. Growth comes from accepting defeat and learning from it. I want to understand how you did what you did. Would you be willing to train together sometimes? Maya smiled. I would be honored. Over the following weeks, an unlikely friendship formed. Maya and Zarkoth trained together regularly. He taught her about Vraxian combat philosophy and how to use her environment as a weapon. She taught him about human martial arts and the importance of conserving energy. Other students noticed. If a human and a Vraxian could train together and learn from each other, maybe there was hope for true cooperation between all species. Small groups began forming where students from different planets practiced together and shared techniques. The Academy's culture started to shift. Before Maya's fight, students mostly stayed with their own species. Vraxians trained with Vraxians. Lithoids trained with Lithoids. Humans were isolated and looked down upon, but now the barriers were breaking down. Commander Thexerel noticed these changes. One day he called Maya to his office. She entered nervously, wondering if she had done something wrong. "Sit down, Brooks," the commander said. He gestured to a chair. "You are not in trouble. I wanted to discuss something with you." Maya sat. "What is it, sir?" "Your fight with Zarkoth has had consequences," the commander said. "Good consequences, I should clarify. I have been teaching at this academy for 20 years. In that time, I have seen a lot of segregation. Species stick together. They do not trust outsiders. But since your victory, something has changed. Students are mixing. They are learning from each other. This is what the academy was supposed to be about from the beginning." Maya did not know what to say. "I just wanted to prove humans belonged here." "You did more than that," Thexerel said. "You showed everyone that different does not mean inferior. Every species has unique strengths. The key is recognizing and respecting those strengths. You demonstrated this principle in the most direct way possible." The commander pulled out a small box from his desk drawer. "The Academy wants to recognize your achievement. Not just the victory, but what it represents." He opened the box. Inside was a medal. It had 7 points representing the founding members of the Galactic Council. "This is the Star of Unity," Thexerel explained. "It is given to students who embody the values of cooperation and mutual respect between species. It has only been awarded 16 times before. You will be the 17th recipient. The official ceremony will be next week." Maya felt overwhelmed. "I do not know what to say, sir." "Say you will continue setting a good example," the commander said. "More humans will join the academy in the coming years. They will look to you as a model. Show them that success comes not from being the strongest or the fastest, but from being smart, dedicated, and willing to learn." "I will do my best, sir," Maya said. That evening, Maya stood at an observation window looking out at space. Stars filled the view like diamonds scattered on black cloth. Somewhere out there was Earth, her home. She wondered what her family was doing right now. They probably did not know yet what had happened here. Communication between Earth and the Academy took time. By the time news of her fight reached home, weeks would have passed. But eventually they would hear. Eventually, all of humanity would hear that one of their own had earned respect among the stars. Finn joined her at the window carrying 2 cups of the Academy's attempt at coffee. It still tasted metallic and wrong, but the gesture was nice. "Heard about the medal," Finn said. "Congratulations, you earned it." "Thanks," Maya said. She took the cup and sipped carefully. "We earned it. All 3 of us humans here. If I had failed, it would have reflected on all of us. If I succeeded, it helped all of us." "True," Finn agreed. "But you were the one who stepped into that arena. You were the one who had the courage to face Zarkoth. That was you." They stood in comfortable silence watching the stars. Maya thought about the journey that brought her here. Earth had seemed so big when she was young. Now she knew it was just one small planet among billions. Humanity was just one species among thousands. But being small did not mean being insignificant. Humans had something valuable to offer the galaxy. Adaptability, creativity, the refusal to give up even when things seemed impossible. These were the traits that let humans survive and thrive on Earth. These same traits would help them among the stars. "You know what is funny?" Finn said. "A month ago we were worried about just surviving here. Now you are getting medals and Vraxians are asking you to teach them. Things change fast, that is life," Maya said. "You never know when one moment will change everything. One fight, one decision, one kick." She smiled slightly at the memory. "One very impressive kick," Finn corrected. "That sound it made, like a gunshot. I will never forget it." Maya touched the window with one hand. The glass was cold against her palm. Tomorrow they would return to regular training. There would be new challenges, new lessons to learn, new skills to develop. The fight with Zarkoth was just the beginning of her journey at the academy, but it was a good beginning. She had proven that humans could compete. She had earned respect. She had made an unexpected friend, and she had shown that cooperation between species was not just possible but beneficial. The galaxy was vast and full of wonders humans were only beginning to discover. But Maya felt ready for whatever came next. She had faced her fears. She had stood up to prejudice. She had won not through luck but through preparation, intelligence, and determination. These were human qualities, and they were enough. The ceremony hall was carved from a single piece of crystal native to the moon. The walls glowed with soft blue light that needed no power source. It was beautiful and impressive, a reminder that the galaxy held wonders humans were only beginning to understand. Maya stood in formation with hundreds of other students. She wore her dress uniform, dark blue with silver trim. The Star of Unity medal was already pinned to her chest. The weight of it felt significant not because the medal was heavy, but because of what it represented. Around her stood students from 24 different species. Vraxians, Lithoids, Threxians, Corthans, and many others whose names she was still learning. A few months ago, these students had barely acknowledged her existence. Now many of them were friends or training partners. The Academy's director, High Commander Vexlar, stood at the front of the hall. He was an ancient Corthan warrior covered in scars from 100 battles. When he spoke, everyone listened. His voice carried across the crystal chamber without needing amplification. Today we honor those who have shown exceptional skill, leadership, and dedication to the values we cherish. Courage, honor, unity between all species. His eyes swept across the assembled students. Among this group, one name has been spoken frequently, not because of a single victory, but because of what that victory represents. Maya felt her stomach tighten. She knew he was talking about her. Beside her, Finn gave her an encouraging nod. Cadet Maya Brooks stepped forward, the commander said. Maya walked to the center of the hall. Her boots clicked on the crystal floor. The commander looked at her with eyes that had witnessed the rise and fall of civilizations. Your species is new to our community. Many questioned whether humans had what it takes to serve in the Galactic Defense Force. You answered those questions not with words, but with actions. He gestured, and a holographic recording appeared in the air. It showed her fight with Zarkoth. The galaxy watches as young warriors enter these halls believing their species is superior. You reminded us all that every warrior has something to learn and something to teach. The hologram showed not just the final kick, but the entire fight, Maya's defensive movements, her patience, her calculated waiting for the perfect moment. Watching it now, she could see what the commander meant. It was not just a fight. It was a lesson, for showing exceptional tactics, for demonstrating courage against prejudice, and for proving that strength comes in many forms. You have earned the Star of Unity. This honor has been given only 16 times before in our history. Wear it with pride. Maya stood straight and spoke clearly. Thank you, sir. I accept this honor on behalf of all humanity. We came to the stars not knowing our place among you. You have shown us that our place must be earned through dedication, respect, and willingness to learn from each other. The hall erupted in sounds of approval. Not just from humans, but from Vraxians clicking their mandibles, Lithoids chiming like bells, Threxians whistling, and dozens of other forms of celebration. Maya returned to her position, but everything felt different now. She was no longer an outsider. She belonged. After the ceremony, Maya found Zarkoth waiting outside. The Vraxian stood with several others from his species, but his posture was different from their first encounter months ago. There was no hostility or superiority, just respect between equals. Congratulations, Brooks, he said. You have taught us all a valuable lesson. Judging others by their appearance or origin is foolish. I was that fool. But I learned, we both learned, Maya replied. You have taught me a lot since our fight. That combination strike you showed me last week was brilliant. I never would have thought of linking attacks that way. A female Vraxian named Crathan stepped forward. Is it true that humans developed hundreds of combat styles before joining the galactic community? Maya nodded. Yes, we did not have natural weapons or armor, so we learned to use technique, leverage, and precision. Every culture on Earth created its own fighting methods. Fascinating, Crathan said. Would you be willing to share some of these methods? We could teach you Vraxian philosophy in exchange. True strength comes from combining different approaches, as you proved. I would be honored, Maya said with a smile. The weeks that followed were busy and fulfilling. Maya's days were filled with regular classes, combat training, and the informal teaching sessions she led. Students from many species came to learn from her. She showed them kicks and punches. She taught them about vulnerable points in different body types. She emphasized that winning was not about being strongest but about being smartest. In return, she learned from them. The Vraxians taught her about maintaining pressure on an opponent. The Lithoids showed her how to use crystalline structure for defense. The Threxians demonstrated aerial combat techniques. Every species had unique knowledge to share. The academy was changing. Where once students had segregated by species, now they mixed freely. Training groups became diverse. Study sessions included many different perspectives. The cafeteria buzzed with conversations between beings who looked nothing alike, but found common ground in their shared goal of becoming better warriors. Commander Thexeral noticed these changes and approved. He often watched the mixed training sessions with satisfaction. This was what the academy was meant to be, a place where the best from every world came together and learned from each other. One evening, Maya returned to the observation deck. It had become her favorite place to think. The view of the stars never got old. Each point of light was a sun with planets around it. Many of those planets held life. The galaxy was more crowded and more diverse than anyone on Earth had imagined. She thought about her journey. Months ago, she had arrived at the academy scared and uncertain. She had faced mockery and prejudice. She had doubted herself, but she had pushed through those doubts. She had studied, trained, and proven herself. The fight with Zarkoth had been a turning point, but it was not the end of her story. It was the beginning. She had shown that humans could compete with the galaxy's strongest species. Now she had to show that humans could continue to grow, learn, and contribute. Finn joined her as usual, carrying their terrible coffee. "You look thoughtful," he said. "Big plans?" "Just thinking about the future," Maya said. "More humans will come to the academy. They will face the same prejudice we faced, but maybe it will be a little easier for them now." "It will be easier because of you," Finn said. "You broke down barriers. You proved we belong here." "That matters, we belong here," Maya corrected. "Not just me. Every human who has the courage to try. Every person who refuses to accept that we are inferior just because we are different." They stood watching the stars in comfortable silence. Maya thought about Earth, her family, her friends. The billions of humans who were living their lives not knowing they were part of a vast galactic community. Someday, more humans would venture to the stars. They would join the Galactic Defense Force. They would explore unknown worlds. They would make friends with beings from distant planets. And they would carry with them the lessons that humans had learned on Earth. Never give up. Always adapt. Find creative solutions to impossible problems. Respect others but demand respect in return. These were human values, and they had value beyond Earth. "Think we will make it?" Finn asked quietly. "As a species, I mean. Out here among the stars?" Maya nodded. "We will make it. We always do. Humans are survivors. We adapt to any environment. We find ways to thrive where others would give up. Earth taught us that. Now the galaxy will learn it too." Finn raised his cup in a toast. "To humanity, then. Small, stubborn, and surprisingly dangerous." Maya clinked her cup against his. "To humanity. And to all the species learning what that means." The artificial sun began its evening cycle. Lights across the academy dimmed. Soon the corridors would be quiet as students went to their rooms. Tomorrow would bring new challenges, new training, new opportunities to prove themselves. But tonight, Maya stood looking at the stars and felt proud. Proud of what she had accomplished. Proud of humanity. Proud to be part of something bigger than herself. The galaxy was vast and ancient. Humans were newcomers, barely beginning their journey among the stars. But they had made their mark. One fight at a time, one friendship at a time, one lesson at a time. And Maya knew with absolute certainty that this was only the beginning. The best was yet to come. 6 months had passed since Maya's fight with Zarkoth. The academy was preparing for its graduation ceremony. Not for Maya, she still had a year and a half of training ahead of her. But for the senior students who had completed their full program, she attended as a spectator, watching as warriors from across the galaxy received their commissions in the Galactic Defense Force. The ceremony was impressive. Graduates stood in perfect formation wearing their dress uniforms. Each species looked different, but they all shared the same insignia marking them as defenders of the galaxy. Commanders from various fleets came to select new recruits for their ships and stations. Maya watched with interest. Someday that would be her standing there. She would graduate from the academy and receive her assignment. Would she serve on a starship? A space station? A planetary defense force? The possibilities were endless and exciting. After the ceremony, High Commander Vexillar approached her. "Brooks," he said, "walk with me." Maya fell into step beside the old warrior. They walked through the Academy's gardens, a section designed to showcase plants from many worlds. It was peaceful and beautiful, a reminder that the galaxy held more than just conflict. "I have been monitoring your progress," the commander said. "You have done well. Your combat scores are excellent. Your tactical knowledge is strong, but more importantly, you have become a bridge between species. Other students respect you. They learn from you. This is a rare quality." "Thank you, sir," Maya said. She was not sure where this conversation was going. "The Galactic Council has taken notice," Vexlar continued. "They are impressed with how you have represented humanity. They want to expand human participation in the Defense Force, more academy positions, more fleet assignments. Your success has opened doors." Maya felt a surge of pride. "That is wonderful news, sir." "It is," the commander agreed. "But it also means more responsibility. More humans will come here expecting to follow your example. They will face challenges. Some will succeed. Some will struggle. Your role as a leader among human students is important." "I understand, sir," Maya said. "I will do my best to help them." The commander stopped walking and looked at her directly. "There is something else. The Council is considering creating a new training program, one focused on cross-species tactics and cooperation. They want someone to help design it, someone who has proven they can work effectively with multiple species. I recommended you." Maya was stunned. "Me? But I am still a student. I have so much left to learn." "You do," Vexlar said, "which is why this would happen after you graduate. But start thinking about it. What have you learned here? What techniques work best for mixing different species in combat units? What barriers need to be overcome? You have unique insights because you experienced the transition from outsider to respected member." Maya nodded slowly. "I will think about it, sir. Thank you for considering me." After the commander left, Maya sat on a bench in the garden. Her mind was racing. A training program, helping shape how the Defense Force integrated different species. It was a huge opportunity and a huge responsibility. She thought about everything she had learned. The importance of understanding your own strengths and weaknesses, the value of studying your opponent, the need to respect differences while finding common ground. These lessons had served her well. Maybe they could serve others too. That evening, Maya met with Zarkoth for their regular training session. They had become close friends over the months. He taught her Vraxian techniques. She taught him human martial arts. Together, they developed hybrid styles that combined the best of both approaches. Today, they practiced in one of the smaller training rooms. The space was just big enough for 2 fighters. They went through exercises slowly at first, focusing on form and technique rather than speed or power. "You seem distracted," Zarkoth observed. "Something on your mind?" Maya told him about the commander's proposal. A new training program focused on cooperation between species. "He wants me involved in designing it." Zarkoth nodded his large head. "That makes sense. You have experience others lack. You know what it is like to be underestimated. You know how to overcome that. These are valuable lessons. But am I qualified?" Maya asked. "I am still learning myself." "The best teachers are those who remember what it was like to be students," Zarkoth said. "You have not forgotten your struggles. This makes you a good teacher." His mandibles clicked in what Maya now recognized as a smile. "Besides, you taught me, and I was a very difficult student." Maya laughed. "You were arrogant and stubborn." "Exactly," the Vraxian agreed. "If you could teach me, you can teach anyone." They resumed their training with renewed energy. As they practiced, Maya thought about what the program could include. Physical training across different body types, cultural sensitivity lessons, joint tactical exercises, language and communication skills. The list grew in her mind. Later that week, 5 new human students arrived at the academy. Maya was asked to meet with them and help them adjust. She remembered her first days here. The fear, the uncertainty, the feeling of being completely out of place. The new students gathered in a conference room. They looked nervous. 2 males and 3 females, all in their early 20s. They had passed the entrance exams on Earth and traveled across the galaxy to be here. Now they faced the reality of training alongside species they had only seen in videos. "Welcome to the Academy," Maya said. "I know this is overwhelming. Everything is new and strange. You will face challenges. Some students will doubt you because you are human. But I want you to know something important. You belong here." One of the new students, a young woman named Katie, raised her hand. "We heard about your fight, the one where you defeated a Vraxian. Is it true?" Maya nodded. "It is true. But that fight was just one moment. What matters more is everything that came after. I learned. I made friends with beings from other worlds. I proved that humans can contribute to the Defense Force. You will do the same." Another student, a young man named Danny, looked worried. "What if we fail? What if we are not strong enough or fast enough?" "Then you adapt," Maya said. "Strength and speed are not everything. Humans survived on Earth not by being the strongest predators, but by being the smartest. We used tools. We cooperated. We never gave up. Those same qualities work here. Use your brain. Study your opponents. Find creative solutions. That is the human advantage." She spent 2 hours with the new students answering questions and giving advice. She told them about the library resources. She explained which instructors were fairest. She warned them about common mistakes. Most importantly, she assured them they were not alone. As the meeting ended, Katie approached her privately. "Thank you," she said. "I was so scared coming here. But seeing what you accomplished, it gives me hope." Maya smiled. "You should be scared. This place is tough, but fear can be useful. It keeps you alert. It motivates you to prepare. Just do not let it paralyze you. Channel it into training and study." Katie nodded. "I will. And maybe someday I will be the one welcoming new human students." "That is the goal," Maya said. "Each generation makes it easier for the next. We are building something here. A legacy." That night, Maya returned to her observation window one last time. She had been doing this less frequently lately. Her schedule was busier. She had more responsibilities. But tonight she needed to think. The stars looked the same as always. Countless points of light in the darkness. Each one a sun. Each one potentially hosting life. The galaxy was vast beyond comprehension, and humanity was just beginning to explore it. 6 months ago, one kick had changed everything. It had proven that humans could compete. It had earned respect. It had opened doors. But the real work had come after. The friendships built. The lessons shared. The barriers broken down one interaction at a time. Maya thought about the future. Graduating from the academy, serving in the Defense Force, maybe helping design that new training program, teaching others what she had learned. The possibilities excited her. But more than personal achievement, she thought about humanity's future among the stars. More humans would come to the academy. More would join the Defense Force. More would explore unknown worlds and make contact with new species. Each one carrying forward the lessons learned here. Never underestimate anyone based on appearance. Respect all forms of intelligence and strength. Learn from everyone. Adapt constantly. These were human values forged through millennia of survival on Earth. Now they would serve humanity across the galaxy. Maya smiled at her reflection in the window. She looked different from the scared young woman who had arrived here months ago. More confident, more capable, more certain of her place in the universe. One kick had started this journey, but thousands of small actions had sustained it. Every training session, every friendship formed, every lesson learned and shared. That was the real story. Not a single moment of glory, but a continuous effort to grow and improve. Tomorrow she would wake up and train again. She would study tactics and strategy. She would help the new human students adjust. She would spar with Zarkoth and learn more hybrid techniques. She would continue proving that humans belonged among the stars. And someday, when she looked back on this time, she would remember not just the fight that made her famous, but all the quiet moments that made her a warrior. The late nights studying in the library, the painful training sessions, the conversations with friends from